So, Gek, I got one question for you.
What's up, Brian?
So, why do you never pick up my calls, Gek? I've been calling you constantly, and I'm trying to get on
What?
the show.
How many times have you called?
Probably like 10 or so. I think 10.
10?
Yeah.
Brian, people are calling hundreds of times, Brian.
I know, it's my fault. I got a call for it.
Oh crap, I gotta put on the feet. Yeah, no, dude. Have you so okay, so I was wondering, like, have you watched the are we recording? Is this the thing
Yeah,
or
we're recording now.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, I was wondering, have you watched like the stream itself or just the TikToks?
So, I started on TikTok, and then I joined one of your live streams on TikTok, and you actually answered my question. I
Oh,
asked
cool.
I asked how do you hug during quarantine, and you talked about how you haven't hugged anyone in like 4 years or something like that.
Yeah, you hug, not at all.
Not at
I've
all
actually
hugging.
been getting like I'm at first it was like sad. I feel like I was a little sad when like we couldn't like touch each other or anything, but now I feel like I'm going for a record.
Yeah,
Like how long can I go without oxytocin?
longest time to never hug, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah, but then after that because you usually stream like later on like TikTok, and then you go
Hmm.
into it really later
Hmm.
on like Twitch, and that's when I started like watching your Twitch live streams. But and
Nice.
yeah, and I like that you put it all on Spotify now, like a best moments
Hmm.
kind of
Hmm.
compilation. I was listening to that last night.
Oh,
So
cool, cool.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so why a gecko, Gek? Or can I call you Lyle? Is it Lyle or Gek?
Call me anything.
Yeah, that's
Call
what you
me.
always say. Call you anything.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that you've watched the stream. I can tell that you've watched the stream. I appreciate
Mm.
that. What the hell was I? Oh, a gecko. Fuck again, man. I wish I had like a
Yeah.
funny story or like an anecdote for this, but I just had okay. Well, the real answer is I made this YouTube video. Before I was streaming, I was just making like dumb little YouTube videos, and I made this YouTube video about the I the idea behind it was that I would be running down the street in a lizard costume, and I would be like crying, and I would be telling the story of this guy. I forget what his name was, but like I would be crying because like my owner um Jeremy. I forget what his actual name was, but like I was crying that my owner, he was keeping me as a pet, but I didn't realize that he had sexual intentions for our relationship. And then when he revealed that to me, I was like, but you're watching me in the lizard suit running, my escaping from
Sure.
having sex with my owner who likes to have sex with lizards.
So
And that
in
was
this um idea, is he owning you dressed in a gecko suit, or are you actually a gecko?
Ooh, you know what? I never thought about that interpretation.
Yeah.
That's like another layer, I think. But
Because
I was
there's
just saying, like, he would be like, I was thinking of it more like he was owning he's a guy who has a bunch of animals.
hmm
And so that the animals think that he has, a traditional domestic relationship, but he wants to take it a step further.
he wants to do something not good.
Exactly, exactly. So I had the costume, but all that's to say is I had the costume left over from that video, and dude, I've just been wanting to stream for a while because I was saying earlier, I was going I when quarantine started, I went on Instagram Live a lot for
Yeah.
like just no people, just as myself, not wearing any lipstick or anything. Um, and I had a fun time like interacting with the chat and like doing streamery stuff. And I always wondered like I wonder if I could do this like because everyone that was in the chat, of course, was like people who knew me because they're just like my Instagram friends. And I remember being like, oh, I wonder if I could do this in front of like actual strangers. And
Yeah.
so it was kind of the combination of those two things.
Yeah.
Um, and then not to get too crazy, but do you know what RPAN is?
RPAN. No, I haven't heard of RPAN. I've heard of like Reddit streaming. Is that
Yes.
similar? Oh, so that's
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah. It's Reddit streaming. So
Okay.
basically, RPAN was sort of taking off at the time, and RPAN's great because to get into like little marketing-y things, like Twitch has very terrible discoverability. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to grow on Twitch, and it's hard to
Twitch, yeah.
find new people on Twitch. But RPAN is crazy You know,
Really?
you could stream on Twitch every single day for a year and get 0 viewers. But if you do it on RPAN, if you're doing something interesting on RPAN, especially since it's like a small base, you know,
Hmm.
if you're dressing up in a big dumb Gecko costume, you know, people notice.
They notice you. And then TikTok. Do you think that's where you really started gaining like momentum and more followers?
Yeah, I had already been getting some pretty good momentum on RPAN, and
Hmm.
then I posted a clip uh, from my RPAN from one of my RPAN streams onto TikTok, not thinking anything of it. I had no idea. I had beginning literally 0 views on all my other TikToks, and then that one like blew up and got like 2 million views, and then I just got into a habit of like cutting clips of my stream and putting it up there. I actually
Hmm.
started doing that. You know, I'm a big fan of being criticized, of like constructive criticism. There's this guy in my Instagram. He comment like back before I was on TikTok. He commented on my Instagram post saying, "I'm unfollowing you on Instagram because you don't have enough Instagram content." Which I thought was stupid,
Yeah, it's kind of
but I
dumb.
was read that and I was like, maybe I don't. And so then I had the idea of like cutting short clips from my Twitch, and initially it was just gonna be for Instagram, but then I started putting them on TikTok.
Hmm. The rest is history, I guess.
The rest is history. Yeah.
Yeah. So have you done any like stand up, and would you ever consider doing stand up in the Gek outfit?
Yeah. So I've been doing stand up comedy on and off since I was 16. So like, um, you know, but lately I haven't been doing it as much.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even before like the pandemic, you know, I probably haven't gotten on a stage to do stand up in a year.
Hmm.
Um, maybe probably about a year. But I used to host a lot of comedy shows, and I got more into the production aspect of that.
Hmm.
But yeah, but I've thought about like what would I want to do if I like went on a mini tour or something. I'd have to come up with an act,
Yeah.
or like one thing that I really like about streaming that I stand up is annoying because you do the same 5 or 10 minutes.
Over and over
Yeah.
again. Yeah.
Whereas streaming is fun because it's different every night. So if I could figure out a way to make it different every night and special for whatever audience is seeing it, if I could figure out how to do that in sort of an improv way, I would love to tour
Yeah.
that, but I'd have to figure out what that show would be.
Yeah. But right now, I think you are very successful at like getting like a different atmosphere every night. Like
Yeah.
yeah, like some people will call in and it'll just like evolve into something. Like it's kind of crazy.
You know, I'm really lucky that the callers have been, I mean, of course, not everyone, but a lot, so many of the callers have been very generous with
Yeah.
like, you know, their lives and their stories and their words. I guess, yeah, I try to make it super open ended so they don't. I want them to not feel like they're gonna get judged for whatever they say, because
Hmm.
that is the moment where I feel like people are most likely to just talk when they don't feel like the person on the other end is judging them. And so
Hmm.
that's kind of my strategy for
Yeah.
getting stuff out of people.
But you get some really interesting stuff like the taco, what was it, the Taco Bell gang?
Yeah, yeah.
That was I listened to that one last night. That was something. Taco Bell gang versus McDonald's or
Hmm.
and the furry guy. That
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
threw me for a loop because I did not see that coming that he was going to be a furry and you guys were going to talk about like furryism or whatever it is.
Yeah, he that guy Dallas, he went through so many different evolution. He talked to the whole story about how he had like had sex with his roommate, and then we talked about furries.
Hmm.
That's kind of another thing, but I don't know if you remember in that call he like had something that he initially wanted to call in
The
with.
dogs and the cats or something like that.
Yeah, like talking about the difference between dogs and cats, and I was specifically wanted to find out like more about him as opposed to like the topic that he wanted to talk about, because he was more interesting than the thing he wanted to talk about,
Hmm.
you know. um yeah, what the fuck was I gonna say? But yeah, again, like I'm really lucky that everyone who's, you know, a lot of the people that called in have been like super generous with their time and with their with their stories and their perspectives.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about like some of the most? I want to hear like in your opinion, what's the most like interesting call you've ever taken?
Hmm. Well, I'll talk about this one a lot. There's a clip on my YouTube channel of this woman called in from Reddit, and she sounded a little older. She sounded like she might have been like in her late 50s or 60s or something, and we got into a conversation where we were just talking about how you can be anything you want, and she started telling me that she started describing how if she could be anything she wanted, she would be a mushroom by a lake.
Hmm.
Um, and I thought it's hard to kind of describe it in words, but I liked her energy because she was very different from a lot of the people that call in. That was one. One of the funniest calls uh, on Wednesday in the new episode of the podcast that came out today. I had this guy call in who was who's trying to argue that there just shouldn't be traffic laws.
Yeah, I saw that on your Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, that one. I try not to laugh really hard, even though I think something's really. But that I thought was just so funny that he was uh, adamantly defending that we should be able to go hundreds of miles on the road and kill people with our cars.
Yeah,
Um,
he was saying it was what's that science thing?
he said it was natural selection.
Natural selection. That's
I
right.
was like, what are you talking about, man? Then he tried to cite a Futurama episode as his source for why we should, he was saying that like we should do what they did in the Futurama episode where they put all the old people on a planet
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
yeah, and he tried to say that as if it was like as if Futurama was presenting it as like this is a good idea that we should do.
Hmm.
But yeah, that one made me laugh a lot.
Yeah, but you do a good job. I don't think I would be able to hold up and keep a straight face the entire time throughout some of these calls.
When I'm doing the stream, I get into like a trance
You're in the
in a way.
zone.
It feels very like meditative to me. Doing this whole thing is super stressful uh for the time that I'm not in the chair doing the stream. Like for those 4 hours where like I've got that fucking spacey music piping into my ears.
Hmm.
And I'm sitting in the same place in the same position for 4 hours. I'm like super chilling and in a trance. So like,
Hmm.
I try not to be super, I guess, reactive to things. It's harder when I have a guest. I laugh more when I have a guest because then the dynamic sort of shifts.
Yeah, and I
And
saw you brought on a what was it? A lawyer. You brought
yeah,
on
Attorney Tom.
Attorney Tom. Where you want to talk a little bit about that, Attorney Tom? And why was he there? Why was Attorney Tom there? That was
Attorney
about
Tom. Attorney Tom. I met him through TikTok. He commented on
okay.
one of my. He like was commenting on my TikToks, and I was commenting on his TikTok. And we were DMing each other, and we decided to collab. And he was great. He was awesome because he like was able to give like very genuine legal perspectives on like some of the insane things that people were talking about. Um, and yeah, he was great. I think people really enjoyed hearing because I'm stupid. I don't know anything. I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm not anything at all. So I think it's interesting when someone comes on who has like actual
Yeah.
genuine knowledge about a topic that they can
Hmm.
talk from.
Hmm. And you say that you're not an actual therapist, which everyone knows, but I feel like a lot
I
of
hope.
callers. What'd you say?
I just said I hope.
Oh yeah, you hope. But I feel like a lot of callers do call in and they're looking for some form of help, I guess.
Yeah, that's towards the top of the hardest parts of this is like trying to navigate that because I think the show is funny and I like it I probably like it the most when it's funny, but
Hmm.
I do enjoy like having serious calls and like, you know, getting through. The worst for me is if someone comes to me with something where I'm like, I can't help you at all. I don't have anything
Yeah.
for you, you know, like but but then I've also heard from those same people that they're like, yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk it out. And that was helpful just to talk through it.
Hmm.
But what the hell was I going to say? It's hard to navigate that because
Yeah.
I think it would be a little too much for me if, you know, every single call was someone who needed like really serious help or someone who wanted to talk about something really serious. But
Hmm.
I like that it's part of the show. I like that it does happen. Um, you know, and I do feel like it's part of the show. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it has been hard for me to navigate what kind of call in stream it should be, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense because I really thought of you when I suggested you. Because we launched this campaign and it's called the Call Your Friends campaign
Mm.
for mental health. For September, Mental Health Awareness Month, we have sweatshirts. We actually have a Geck green sweatshirt,
Nice.
which was kind of cool. So so yeah, so I thought of you because I feel like sometimes people like even if you have like friends, like you want like a third party to talk to, and you know you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
get too serious with it, you know. So I thought of you because I thought you were a really funny, like good outlet, but not like super serious stuff to talk about, but like if people needed to vent or something, I think like it would be like it's a kind of a cool format, you know. And it's just like not just you either, like there are viewers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I really kind of thought of you, you know.
Yeah, you know, and it's funny you said there are viewers because you know, I like that the like in the events that people do come in with a serious thing, and I'm like, I have no
You don't know.
idea.
Yeah.
Some people will chime in with the chat and be like, you know, hey, I'm also 45 years old and a mom, and I also have these problems that you're talking about, and here's what I do, and because like I don't have that because I'm not a 45-year-old mother, but then you know people chime in who do have these things in common with the class. So I like that. I like when that happens and people can help each other out. Um, but yeah, also I think the not the I mean I go by people know my name, but I think there is something slightly more anonymous about it because I'm dressed up as a gecko
Yeah.
that
You're
makes
you're
it.
more approachable in
Yeah, yeah,
the Geck
yeah.
outfit.
Mm-hmm. So I think
Yeah.
that that sort of helps people feel a little bit more comfortable.
Hmm. No, I agree. And yeah, so that's why I thought of you.
Hell yeah! You said it's Mental Health Awareness
Yeah,
Month.
mental health awareness. It's in September. So what we're doing is we have like a lot of articles going up about mental health and like one of them is like dealing with a panic attack while you're high or drunk or something like
Mm-hmm.
that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like for college kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what we've been doing, and I thought you would be a good source because you deal with some of this stuff, but in kind of a comedic way.
Yeah. What's that? What's the, how does one? I got to read that article because well,
Hmm.
we've all been there when we were in college
Hmm.
and got a little too crazy.
That's right, Gak. That's true. I think you answered all of my questions though. I think it was a good chat.
Well, let me ask you something.
Yes,
If
ask
you
away.
call, so all right, so if you called in,
Yeah.
did you have something that you wanted to talk about, or is it just
See,
you want to see where it went,
this
where
was
it
the
goes?
struggle. This was the struggle, you see. I always wanted to call in, but I never knew what I wanted to talk about. I'm one of those viewers.
Yeah, but you know, I mean that happens, I think,
Yeah.
and we kind of get there in some way. I mean, there's the prompts, of course, but I used to just be like, "Fuck it," and not even have the prompts. Um,
Oh, so you write prompts now?
yeah, there was like there's like the little questions that I sometimes ignore, like you know, have you ever gotten in trouble? Have you ever lied?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, you're right. Have you ever, what was it? It was like, what's the worst thing you've done or something like that?
Yeah, yeah. I like those when I get people. One thing I feel bad about is I uh do those prompts like what's the worst thing you've ever done? And then people tell me, and then people in the chat get mad
That's
at the caller, and I'm like, don't be mad at the call. Be mad. I'm the one who egged them on to tell me
that's right.
this.
They can't
They're
judge.
exactly. That's the other
Judgment-free
thing. Yeah.
zone. There's actually,
Yeah.
wait, one more thing. Um,
Please.
there was a background, and what was it? Colorado. You don't think Colorado's a state?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What was that about? What inclined you to think that, Gak?
Oh, I just I'm trying to. I've been getting fucking lazy, but I'm just trying to think of ridiculous things to say,
Hmm.
and so far all of them have been related to what is and is not a state.
Hmm.
Um, but I did a Colorado background because I found this guy on YouTube and I've been ripping all his YouTube videos and using them as backgrounds. I gotta sign up for his Patreon or something.
Yeah. So just
Um,
just ridiculous things. And going to Iceland. I liked when you went to Iceland.
yeah, I like going places. I'm trying to make there like a canon to it of like the idea is that you travel around the universe with a gecko and you talk about life with strangers. Um, I'd like there to be some sort of overarching arc, but I don't know how to get that out
Mm.
of my head and into the actual thing.
Yeah, that's the creative part. That's kind of
Mhm.
difficult. I'm trying to think of places you could go right now.
Please, I'm always looking for
I was
my favorite.
thinking
I love space. I love the sky, the forest.
it's relaxing too, you know? The music in the background.
Mm-hmm. So you said you found the show on TikTok, right?
Yeah, I found it on TikTok.
Which TikTok was the first one that you saw?
I think the one where the girl, it was like, what's the worst thing you've ever done? And the
Yeah, yeah.
girl was going down she like, you know what I'm talking about, right, Gek?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know,
She yeah, with the poop river. Yeah, yeah. She shat in a river, and then her poop like flooded and hit the kids
yeah,
behind her.
that's not a good time.
No, it's not. I.
I don't know how you didn't laugh during that one. Oh, bless you.
Oh, thank you. I didn't laugh during that one because sometimes I don't do this anymore, but I used to be like, oh, we got like I guess in my head, like I can tell if something's gonna be like a clippable moment, and so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go into clippable moment mode where I don't laugh because I sort of know what's
It
going
ruins the
on.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to add to that moment as opposed to because like if I it's like if I'm when I'm going in and I'm editing it later, if I laugh, I'm like, fuck, I gotta fuck that up. I gotta not laugh next time.